the inaugural RankEmz on wheels. That's Birdman. How we doing?
Doing good, man. It's exciting that this is finally happening, right? You know, it's been a long time in the making.
Finally doing it. Only took us most of our adult lives to actually get around to making it real.
Yeah.
For those of you out there that don't know what RankEmz is, which is everybody, because just the two of us know what the heck it even is. It's our little podcast where we pick random topics and we rank them up against each other. We typically disagree, makes for some good fun and some surprising topics. I can only imagine, Birdman, what you have in store for this inaugural episode.
Yeah, so you know, this is a topic that I think is going to be near and dear to both our hearts. You know, one thing I like to do in some of these, and I think this could kind of be a running theme, is have some Easter eggs, you know, possibly in kind of some of the video. So if you go ahead and take a look at my shirt here, this was a pre-COVID shirt, by the way.
Extra medium.
It's like a little form-fitting, but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think this is a great topic for our first RankEmz. It kind of fits into, you know, like Wheels said, we normally want to have 4 topics to rank. This fits perfectly with the 4 turtles. So, yeah, that's it. What do you think about that one?
I love it. I knew that turtle wetsuit had to have some sort of significance here on this episode. So
yeah. So yeah, what I'll do is, you know, I like to start every episode here where I'll give a little bit of background. So I'm just going to kind of talk through some TMNT background, and then we'll go ahead and start, you know, thinking about how we're going to rank these guys. So for those out there, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were created as a comic book back in 1984. They really hit their stride in the late 80s, early 90s in popularity, which is kind of perfect for Wheels and I, which were, you know, 2 80s kids. 1987 was the start of the cartoon series, which is really when I got into it. Maybe not necessarily in 87, but right around that time. And along with that cartoon series came everything merchandise related, you know, from the lunchboxes to the bed sheets to the action figures. I can still kind of vividly remember those cartoony bed sheets I had on my twin bed. I had a pillowcase that matched and everything.
In my mind, your bedroom still looks like that. I remember those days.
Yeah.
And just in my mind, you're still sleeping on queen-size turtle sheets.
Yeah. Yeah, I had them specially made, you know? So in addition to the toys, one thing that was kind of really important to me was, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles spawned countless video games, right? So as kind of a video game child, those were real important to me. So the 2 most important games were the 1989 version of the Nintendo Entertainment Series, TMNT, and the 1989 and 1991 arcade games, just called TMNT, and also Turtles in Time, which was the sequel. Also around this time, the Ninja Turtles appeared as characters at Walt Disney World and Disneyland. I do remember one of my trips to Disney World around that time, seeing the Ninja Turtles and going absolutely bonkers. And you know me, I'm kind of introverted, and I don't like other people, I don't like crowds, but I was real excited to see those damn turtles. So
you got me. My gears are turning here already. I'm just taking notes. I think I have my 4, and I'm excited for this.
Yeah. Outside of the video games, I think another thing that was really kind of probably both important to you and I were the feature films. So one thing I didn't know doing a little bit of research is there were 6 feature films made to date. The 2 that kind of really stick out to me is 1990's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and then 1991's Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
The same team, same set of actors, same set of producers also did an Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 from 1992, which is when they kind of went back in time to ancient Japan as samurai.
It's kind of a swing and a miss, that one.
Yeah.
Wasn't Corey Feldman one of the voices?
He might, yeah. Actually, that sounds familiar.
I can't remember who he was, but he was one of them, I think, in that first movie.
Yeah. So, you know, kind of my greatest memory was really watching that first movie. Did not go see it at the movie theater. Movie theater was not something that I really did as a kid with my parents a lot. But for this one, we rented it on pay-per-view from the cable company. And this is at the time when to rent a pay-per-view movie, they only came on at specific times. They were not on demand, and you had to call up to make the purchase. It was ridiculous. We probably spent $20 on it. It was awesome. I can specifically remember.
I'm sure your dad loved it.
It was He loved like the fact that he was getting to rent a movie. I'm not sure that he loved the movie, but at the same time, we had a fairly new 27-inch Zenith.
Oh, nice.
Talk about like cutting edge technology.
You guys always had it going on, man. Lap of luxury over there.
Yeah.
27 inches of screen, probably like 60 inches of total contained like cabinet.
780 pounds. Took 3 guys to move it. Yeah.
That thing was probably $3,500 then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually I have no sense of what that would have cost, but it wasn't cheap for sure.
No.
And also, you figure back then, like, as an adult, how many televisions have you bought? Probably half dozen?
Yeah. Back then, you had 30 years.
Yeah, you would have a TV, maybe 2 in a lifetime, it seems like. So, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, I just throw it out now.
Exactly.
All right.
Let me just kind of give an overview of the 4 characters that we're going to rate for those viewers out there, all 2 of them that we have. So first off, we have Leonardo. He was in the blue mask. He was kind of the leader type, known for carrying 2 swords. Then you had Raphael in the red mask. He was kind of aggressive.
Pretty sure they're katanas, man. Come on.
Katana swords. Well, a katana is a type of sword. Yeah, well, you know.
Okay.
It's a type of sword.
All right, we'll accept it. Keep going.
Raphael in the red mask was kind of a little bit of a jerk. Kind of had an aggressive attitude, carried 2 sais. Donatello was the purple mask, nerdy type, smart guy, kind of an engineering type. Carried a bow staff, which was a glorified stick. And then Michelangelo in the orange mask, cool dude, loved his pizza pies, kind of a jokester, carried the nunchucks. So,
not telling me anything I don't know.
Yeah. In addition to that, there were tons of other characters that existed, throughout the series. 2 of the more important ones are Master Splinter, which is the Ninja Turtle sensei, as well as Shredder, who was kind of the main villain and the leader of the Foot Clan. We're not going to rank those guys today. Maybe that's a different episode where we kind of rank TMNT villains, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, so with that, for everyone that's kind of out there watching, what we like to do is go from bottom to top, leave our kind of top spot for last. And we'll go through and kind of rank these based on whatever criteria we feel is important. So, you're up, bud.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that criteria. So we're going on characters, video game strength. I mean, what are we? Combination of everything?
So it's whatever you feel in your heart, right? I'll tell you, from my perspective, characters themselves, kind of their personalities was a big factor. The toys, and then the video game abilities. So,
got it.
Especially in that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game, the abilities really kind of have an effect. So,
yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It's a little controversial. Number 4, and a distant 4, Donatello. The guy does nothing for me, other than the fact that he was 10 times better than any other turtle in that video game, that first Nintendo one.
Yeah.
But that's not enough to make up for the fact that the guy is just kind of a dork. The jingle comes to mind from that first cartoon series where it was like Leo is the leader, Donatello does machines, Raphael is cool but crude, and Michelangelo is the party dude. Remember that?
Yeah.
He does machines? What the hell does that even... The guy's carrying around a stick with hockey tape on it. And the Foot Clan and Krang, and they have all the machines. Like, why does he build something to help him out? Level the playing field a little bit. Use that college degree or whatever. So, yeah, you can't have him around your girlfriend. He just kind of sucks the air out of the room. He's probably like one of those guys that, like, is a know-it-all, too. Like, you say something and he has to just correct you. Like, I don't know.
I can see that.
Just not a guy that I would sit around and hang out with. That said, by far the best weapon in that game. But he's also by far the biggest loser of the 4 for me.
All right. I took a little bit of a different approach. I think some of my criteria are weighted a little differently than yours. My number 4, also a very easy decision for me, Raphael. Dumb weapon, bad attitude. To be honest, really the only turtle I never liked. I'm sure I had some of his action figures because I kind of had different sets of them just to make a complete set so I could play with them. But he was probably in pristine condition compared to some of the others because I probably never touched it.
You can't say it's a bad weapon though. Like just because it wasn't a video game, like I'd rather 2 knives than a friggin' mop handle.
The video game
Just
abilities were big for me, and maybe that's a little bit of preview for some of my other rankings. But
Yeah.
he would kind of do this little twirl with those sighs in the video game, and it would only go this far. You had to let the enemies come so close to you. It was really bad.
He sucked. He was a liability in that game. I can't argue there.
Yeah. So
he was the one you would take into the dam when you were like defusing bombs because he was expendable.
Yeah, you don't give a shit if he gets zapped up.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 4. Similar to your number 4, very easy decision for me. Didn't even really have to think about it.
Don't agree with that one.
All right.
You going with your number 3 or my number 3?
No, you got 3. You're up.
All right. Number 3 is probably also a little bit controversial here. Michelangelo, number 3.
Okay.
I feel like most boys our age were like, they liked him. He was the party dude. I'm kind of the party dude. So it's kind of surprising that I didn't go with Michelangelo, given we have the same personality and love of pizza pies. But he's an idiot. And, it's not a weapon. Like a nunchuck is not a weapon. It's a kid's toy. Or it's like something where you show off in karate, if you're a karate class, right?
Yeah.
Like, has that ever been a weapon in like medieval Japan? Was it really a weapon, or what the heck even is that thing? They were great to play with as a kid. You would go to the Halloween adventure, and you would get those padded ones. Remember those?
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. But you're not gonna get in a bar fight with this little twirly tricks thing. So I don't know. He kind of seems like a liability out there. He's always horsing around. Too much horseplay. Not a strong enough weapon. It's a toy. Number 3, Michelangelo.
I'll tell you what. I thought my number 3 was going to be controversial, but I'm right there with you. I got Michelangelo at number 3. I'm actually surprised with you. Like you even kind of touched on it. Similar personality to you. I thought you might really connect to him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's changed as you've kind of grown, but that's surprising. With that said,
I'm still the party clown. It's just I know my ranking. We'll get to mine, but my number 1 has always been my number 1, even back then.
Yeah, I get you. He was a fucking cool party dude. That's for sure. Loved pizza pie. Every kid thought the nunchucks were cool. You even did this here. I have this in my notes. Every kid pronounced them nunchucks. Hilarious. Yeah. And I always remember we had one friend that was a karate friend that would always correct you. Nunchucks. Nunchucks.
I know exactly who that is.
Yeah. So
that's the kind of thing. Like, that's a Donatello thing to do. Like, correct somebody every single time they say something wrong. Just get over it, dude. Yeah. Move on.
I get it.
People make mistakes.
Yeah, I'm surprised we kind of saw eye to eye on that one. But number 3, not really a hard decision. Easy to kind of put him here. Maybe, like I said, maybe a little bit controversial, but Michelangelo, final answer.
Yeah, he's the guy you would, shotgun beers with. But as far as his ranking goes,
he's also the youngest of the turtles, I believe. So
that's right.
He was a little bit immature, but
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Well, they're all teenage, so they can't be that far apart, right?
Yeah.
There's 4 of them, and how many teenage years you got?
Yeah, but what does 1 turtle year equal 14 human years? We don't know.
Oh, yeah, I never thought about turtle years.
So
they're probably pretty long. Those things live forever.
Yeah. All right, you're up on 2.
Number 2 is also probably another one of the crowd favorites, and he's number 2 because he is kind of the leader, but he's also kind of a dick about it, and that's Leonardo.
Okay.
I do agree that in terms of just pure what weapons are the best, probably in real life, it's got to be him. So the fact that he is the leader is kind of cool. Gets him a couple points plus blue, right? Like when we were kids, every boy was like, "Oh, I want the blue one."
Yeah.
So best weapon, leadership ability, but he's also just kind of like he knows it. He's kind of just like annoying about it. Like, chill out, dude, every once in a while. So we'll go number 2, not the worst by far, but I think he was probably him or Michelangelo are probably the 2 most common fan favorites, but he's number 2 for me.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I agree with a lot of that, but number 1 and number 2 was a little bit difficult for me. I feel like these 2 are pretty close. My number 2 is Donatello.
What a loser. You guys deserve each other.
I ranked the video game abilities pretty high. He was amazing in that video game. Not only did his bow staff hit places that no other weapon could, it also it caused double the damage. He was the only kind of like, he was the important guy in that game.
I think I was watching some YouTube videos, and it's like, I think you like can't beat that game without him.
Yeah.
Or it's like next to impossible.
Yeah.
So if he dies, you might as well just. He was the guy you were always feeding the whole pizzas, like because you could switch between characters and their health would go up separately. Man, we're really dwelling on that video game. That must have really burned itself into our memory.
I watched some YouTube videos just to do this research, and I realized I don't think I ever got past level 3. Level 1 was kind of like a normal kind of level. You were under the sewers. Level 2 was off the dam when you were doing the bombs underwater. And
that
then
was hard.
Yeah, that was impossible. And then level 3 was just kind of back to that normal, like you're going into different rooms, into different buildings, under the sewers. I never got past that, I don't think. Because I was seeing stuff for the first time. Crazy.
The steamrollers running around. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that game was entirely too difficult for 8-year-olds.
Yeah, especially it came out in 1990. We were both 8, 9 years old. Impossible. It's probably pretty difficult today.
But I was probably better at it then than now.
True.
But
true.
I also know exactly what I'm doing when we hang up here is I'm YouTubing somebody beating that. I love watching those like no damage video game runs or whatever.
Speed runs, yep.
Oh man, I can't get enough of that stuff. But anyway.
It's great.
Yeah, he was undeniably awesome in that game, man. There's no two ways about it.
So Donatello is my number 2 guy. Like I said, a little bit difficult with my number 1 choice, but it feels right here.
He probably was one of those guys that parted his hair in the middle, way past when it was still cool. Like,
yeah, he was 42.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
all right. So, I mean, drum roll. I guess by process of elimination, you know what's coming up here.
Yeah.
And that's it's the curveball of the night, I think. Raphael, number 1. He was your 4, right?
He was my number 4. Dumb weapon, bad attitude. I disagree.
Number 1 for me, man, and that's because I just feel like that's the guy you want in a bar fight, you know, just because he is kind of a little bit chip on his shoulder. He's probably not the guy coming over Saturday helping you move, right? He's probably going to be a dick about that. But when it comes down to actual I feel like if all the turtles got in a fight, he would win. I just feel that way, and I don't think the weapon's that bad. I mean, Donatello's carrying around a freaking mop handle, and this guy has 2 shivs like he made in prison or something like that. Those things can do some damage, man. And they're bigger than you think. The video game makes it look like they're teeny tiny. They're bigger than you think if you remember the movie.
If I'm getting in some type of conflict, I want something bigger than this long, right? So what this means, say it's 18 inches, which I think is a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely smaller than that.
Yeah, so say it's 12 inches from tip to tail. That means in order to be effective, you have to be within 12 inches of your opponent. Not a good move. That bow staff.
Well, most of the time they're doing karate chops and kicks and stuff anyway.
I don't know. The bow staff or the swords, you can be far enough away. You can dish out some damage. I think you're out of your friggin' mind with Raphael as 1. But
I'm not arguing that katana blades are a great weapon. Don't get me wrong. That's why he's my number 2, and he's got 2 of them.
Yeah.
The bow staff, man. It's just seems like they forgot. The creative writer quit on the 4th turtle. When it came to the weapon vote, I just feel like they just mailed that one in. Is that even a real thing? Because a bow staff, if you went to a karate guy and asked him, that's
I remember I was with a buddy in Vegas once, and he was kind of in the hotel room, and I remember I took a broom handle and kind of used it like a bow staff, and I kept saying, you finish up there, bud.
Yeah,
you finish up there, bud.
Little pull cue job. Yeah, I remember that.
I'll tell you
That's
what.
a good point.
Very effective weapon.
Yeah, it was effective that day. I'll give you that.
He finished finished right up, and we were out of there. So.
Raphael, I mean, in your defense, he was always that guy going out and getting beaten up and captured, and the rest of them had to go get him, right? But at least he was out there trying to kick some ass. These other nerds are back there fucking arguing over pizza and stuff. At least he's out there,
Listen, end of the day, all 4 of them are cool. I did enjoy all of them. Raphael just happens to be my least favorite. So
What kind of drugs was somebody on when they came up with like turtles that are teenagers that love pizza, that got mutated in ooze and got trained by a rat? Like, you can't make this stuff up.
I don't know.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. Honestly, they probably had some type of martial arts background, right? So they were kind of, at least in that world, they knew some of the weapons. Or like they picked the cool weapons, like the nunchucks and shit. But I don't know.
Was it a Japanese like comic? Was it like a Mario Brothers, like, or was that like an American thing?
No, American thing. Peter Laird, Kevin Eastman. Those don't sound like Japanese names.
No, they sound like substitute teacher dorks. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then I remember Peter Engel was the same guy from Saved by the Bell. Isn't he the executive producer on like that cartoon series?
He might have been. I don't have that info up.
Kind of has like that same. If you go back and listen to the Saved by the Bell jingle and then like that cartoon jingle, you can like he used the same music guy. You can like just tell.
And you're probably right too, because both shows were like mega hits. So those types of guys that are involved in the production of that probably are getting similar type jobs across the industry, you know.
And even to that fact, was it Konami that made all the video games? I think it was Konami because a lot of these games were pretty similar, like Contra.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them have like a similar feel to that Turtles game.
So the NES Turtles game was made by Ultra. It was called Ultra Games. Now, what I don't know is a lot of different video game companies are subsidiaries of others.
And they Big Fish Eat the Little Ones and all that, yeah.
So Ultra may have been, I don't know enough about my video game history if Ultra was a subsidiary, but I do agree, a lot of the stuff looked similar.
Like Goonies, remember Goonies 2, the video game?
I do. It was a bad one, I didn't like it.
I thought it was kind of cool, but yeah.
All right, and then just to kind of wrap this up, so as you can tell, my number one's Leonardo. Leader guy, definitely had a cool weapon with the swords, had cool toys.
Katanas, you're killing me with the swords, man.
They're swords.
You think this isn't like medieval England turtles? This is.
They're swords.
It's katanas. It's Japanese.
You also mentioned this too. This was actually, I have it written in my notes. Blue is my favorite color. So without even knowing anything, there's an instant attraction there, especially as a young boy. So
opposite effect with the purple on what's his ass.
He just, the video game abilities, unreal with that guy, on Donatello. I'm sorry. And then Leonardo also did fine in the video game, so he kind of got
second best. He was
mid-level
second best.
ranking. But yeah, what are you gonna do? So that's it. I think that's it, and that's all. Anything else you have left to add?
So I'm Raphael, Leo, Michelangelo, Donatello.
Yeah.
What's yours? Top to bottom again, real quick.
Leo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael.
I just love how like we have 1 and 4, like we have Donatello and Raphael, like kind of polar opposites here.
Yeah. It's everyone has their own, own view on this shit.
And then Raphael did get beat up by Casey Jones. Speaking of fringe characters, you mentioned him.
Oh, yeah.
His weapon was just like a play it again sports equipment like bag.
Yeah, and he was always awesome because he had the hockey mask, right?
Yep. And he had the hots for April O'Neil, man. But who didn't?
Yeah. Yeah, he was cool. He was kind of a cool, like you said, fringe character that was a good guy, wasn't a bad guy. I do also think they had some great villains. So Shredder was kind of your typical supervillain. He's the guy at the end of the video game. He's got the guy at the end of the movie. But some of those other kind of like fringe bosses, like your Bebop and Rocksteady, they sucked in the video game, right? They were the first couple that you could beat.
Yeah.
But in the cartoon, they looked cool, as a rhino and a pig or a.
They were tougher. They were like more capable in the cartoon than the actual video game. They were just walking the park.
Big time.
Wasn't Shredder? Oh, Krang.
I was just gonna say Krang, like really weird. It kind of goes back to like, what kind of shrooms were these guys eating when they came out with this stuff? But just a brain in the middle of like, kind of like a metal crab type thing.
It was like Stretch Armstrong. Remember the Stretch Armstrong doll? As a kid, kind of like that thing.
Yeah.
And then wasn't Splinter Shredder's pet? like at the beginning, remember he was mimicking his moves. He was his master or whatever. In the very beginning, he was doing like the little baby rap. He was doing all the little kung fu. You have to look that storyline up. I think that's true.
Yeah.
And then just one more note on Casey Jones. Like, what was that loser's deal in real life? Like, was he just a street thug out there, like a bounty hunter? Like, what was his deal?
Man.
He wasn't like good or bad. He kind of was in the middle and just like getting in like dust ups. I don't know.
Thinking back on it, a lot of parallels with some of the fringe guys we used to play hockey with.
Yeah.
So kind of, like sometimes we would have some randos just show up with their roller skates instead of rollerblades and play some hockey with us, and it's like
Casey Jones is like 42, living in his parents' basement. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like stealing money out of his mom's purse still.
Two 20s to buy it.
Yeah, just a good pizza and stuff.
Get a new pack of sports cards. And he's not buying baseball cards. He's buying like football cards and NBA cards.
Fringe. He had like a cricket paddle and a hockey stick. The hockey stick was cool.
Yeah, the goalie stick. I loved it. Especially, that was another thing that was very important to us at the time was hockey. So like there was an instant attraction there too.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it. RankEmz -- 1 in the books.
All right, yeah. No, I think.
You want to wrap us up here? And I mentioned it earlier. We got like 2 likes online, so if you could have it in your heart to actually hit us with a like as well before you ask everybody else.
Yeah, will do. Thanks everyone for joining RankEmz this week. We look forward to kind of being back every week with a new episode, new topic that we'll rank. Thanks to all of our followers that we currently have. Please share our content if you enjoy it. Follow us on all social media apps at RankEmz Podcast. We'll list all of those down in the comments section. You can find us on just about anything: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, your Snapchats, your Twitch. We don't have any kind of live things planned yet, but in the future we may. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's the most important one for us right now. Smash that subscription button.
I was gonna say I didn't even recognize half those other sites you just mentioned, but yeah, YouTube.
I know. Yeah. All these links, kind of all the details, will be listed below by our producer and engineer, Smitty. We want to thank him for kind of all the work he does in the back end to kind of make sure that this happens. So thanks to everyone for listening and watching. We'll be back next week.
All right, Birdman.
See you, Wheels.
I'll holler at you.
Later.